Yeah, happy Sunday. How's everybody doing today? Sensual Sunday. Tonight's a special one. It's a little bit different. So I'm going to let some people jump on here real quick. See who we have around and who wants to come out and play. Hey Joss, how are you? Hi Kat. See who else we have. Miriam, hi. Just letting some people jump on. Hi Shar. Trifon, I will be bringing you on in a few moments. We're going to let some people jump on. So, in all honesty, let's face the truth. What I do for a living has nothing to do with me. It's not about me at all. It's about you. It's about helping you heal, helping you let go, helping you evolve to where you can ascend, helping you choose your path and live happy, healthy, abundant lives. And that's why I'm here. It has nothing to do with me. It's about you guys. So I know Sensual Sundays, you guys usually like, you get to come on and play a bit and talk about the things that you normally wouldn't talk about in regular company. You feel safe, and that is so important. But part of being sensual and sexual is being able to have confidence, self-confidence and belief in yourself, and to be able to feel sexy. And sometimes there are things that happen within our lives, be it trauma, abuse, a surgery that went horribly wrong, that actually steal your self-confidence away and steal how you feel about yourself and your self-worth. And some people have to fight very, very hard to get back to that place where they feel good about themselves again and feel good in their own skin. So tonight is a very, very special story, and it is about a precious client of mine who I actually had the pleasure to work with even before his surgery happened. And I have been working since then and have, been with him going through the process and bared witness to a lot of it. And I guess about 2 weeks ago, he got one of... Elena, I think I need your live chat with your buddy tonight. I'm not sure what that means. But he bought one of the amazing citrine crystals from me. That one that had the skull formation in it. And then at the same time I said, well, I'm going to be doing Sensual Sunday. Do you have any requests? And he had said to me, yes, I would love, I need help with, building my self-confidence again and feeling sexy. I haven't felt sexy in a really long time. And I am good with myself, but I would like to draw in my partner. So tonight we're going to start that process. And I'm going to bring him on, and he is going to tell his story and available to answer questions that you may have. And then we're starting the process to him starting to build self-confidence and starting to feel better about himself and doing the work needed to draw in his partner. So this is what our goal is, and this is what's going to happen. And honestly, he's already doing the very first thing he needs to build that self-confidence and to feel that sexy. And that is being able to speak his truth unapologetically, to be brave enough to be here with you guys and tell his story. And that is huge. That is being very self-confident to be able to, talk about this, because it was so traumatic and because he did almost lose his life for something that should have been a simple surgery that was a required surgery. So it wasn't like he was going in to have a procedure done just for the hell of it, okay? It went so wrong and he almost died. So we're even lucky to have him here. So I am going to pull him on now. And I am going to let him tell you his story. So this live is actually going to be 2 parts, because otherwise it's going to be long. It's going to be the first part working with him and hearing his story, and the other part will be next week where we really go through the process of what you need to do, which a lot of it was when we started talking about you know, uh, you know, drawing your partner in, using attraction, that kind of thing. Hey,
Hi, how's it going?
good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Just enjoying a nice Midwest night.
Yeah, how hot is it by you? Where are you? So tell everybody who you are, how old you are, and where you're located.
Well, hi everyone. I'm Trifon. I'm located here in Chicago.
Mhm.
I think it's in the 80s, but
Mhm.
I'm in air conditioning, so I can't complain. Um,
Mhm.
I have a birthday coming up. I'm a Leo, and I'll be 32 in a couple
He's
weeks.
32. Yes, and tell them all your sexual preference.
Oh,
Because
I'm gay. I am into men.
yep. So he is looking for his partner for all you females that might be falling in love with him after you hear his story and see how strong he is. This guy ain't for you. He's for somebody else. So, which is great. So, and really, when you sit there and you think about it, because for so long, let's talk about that first. And actually, the most interesting thing is I told him today, I'm like, do you have the Phantom of the Opera mask? Because he is like Phantom of the Opera. He is. What he has gone through and where he is now, how many surgeries have you actually went through right now since the whole disaster? How many surgeries has it been?
5 total. Um,
Over the past year, right? Year and a half, past year?
mhm.
And you still have, I think, two more left? One,
Uh,
two more?
Hopefully no more. I'm working with, well, maybe I should back up and tell the story
We're going to go
first.
back, but I'm leading up to that. So
Okay,
you may have another one or not, but you said when I spoke with you earlier today, you should be back to normal by the end of the year is what your hope is.
I'm hoping so.
Um, and actually, he is being extremely brave because usually you even have for your mouth, you actually have a retainer you put in too, correct?
Oh,
So,
yep, I'll be getting
yep.
that.
So,
Mhm,
yep, he's getting a retainer. So he's actually being extremely brave, and you're seeing where he's at now.
mhm,
Okay. Now, in the beginning, when I first started working with you, I've been blessed to do quite a few sessions with you. And then we were just dealing with, the process of what you were going through as a gay man, finding the right partner for you,
mhm,
what you had to face when you came out. There was a whole process. So
mhm,
you were just starting to go through all of these processes and really becoming comfortable with you.
mhm.
And then all of a sudden this happens. So you have been really over the past 10 years fighting a huge battle, you know, and it's been an uphill climb, but it's leveling off now. And I think the fact that you were willing to come on here tonight and talk to everybody and share your stories, I think you found your truth. This is
Honestly,
a powerful thing. This is where you are now.
it is. Honestly, a few months ago, if you would have asked me to do this, I probably would have found an excuse to say no.
Mhm.
Um, Over the last 6 months, I've been really trying to open up more, say yes
Mhm.
more, um, to push myself out of my comfort zone.
Mhm. And it's been a big deal. And we already know he's supposed to be with somebody that's a little bit older than him. Just so y'all know too. But we'll take some practice, people, no problem. But
Yes.
okay, so I'm going to leave it to you. Tell the story because of exactly what happened. Because I remember you had actually, Trifon has done sessions with me, has gotten crystals from me,
Mhm.
and the whole and the special crystals for very special things. And he was getting a crystal before. Which one? Did you get the shungite before, or what was it that you got right before surgery?
I'm wearing it right now. Let me
Is that a
see.
shungite? Was it the shungite?
I think so.
Yes,
Those are
yes.
great.
He got a noble shungite
Yeah,
right
I
before
love
his
it.
surgery, which was there for protection. So thank
Mhm.
God, thank goodness. Um, because let's start at the beginning. What the surgery was, why you had to get it, because it was not. Um, it was medically necessary
Mhm.
when you went to get this. So tell your story. I'm going to leave it to you so everybody can hear your story.
Okay. Well, I have a bone disorder that's called fibrous dysplasia. In a nutshell, my bones tend to break a lot easier than the average person. Um, think of it kind of like osteoporosis. Um, so, back in February 2020, I had a facial reconstruction done to remove a bone growth right here. It was starting to affect my teeth, and it was just bad news. So I went in. I expected to be in the hospital for about a week. I had the first surgery on a Monday, and unfortunately that failed after a couple days. On Valentine's Day, actually, on Valentine's Day, I had a second surgery to correct the first one. They removed my entire cheekbone here. It does look a little sunken in,
Mhm.
but it's better than it was. Um,
Mhm.
they removed what they had initially put in, and then they replaced it with muscle from my thigh.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, that failed too.
Mhm.
Um, so that was the third surgery. I was expected to go home, and this is about 2 weeks into the hospital stay.
Mhm.
I had a high pressure arterial bleed from the back of my jaw here. I ended up losing almost 2 quarts of blood and to have emergency surgery. Otherwise, I would have bled out. I wouldn't be here. So
Mhm.
I'm very lucky to be here. Um, so in all, I had 4 surgeries in a 3 week time span right before COVID actually hit hard and before we went into lockdown. So I'm also really lucky with that as well.
Mhm. Now you were at ICU though. How long were you in ICU for? Where it was touch and go with you? Because it was touch and go with you for a
Yeah.
while.
That was after the fourth surgery. So at that
Mhm.
point, I don't know how long I was unconscious, or in ICU, I should say. Maybe 2 days. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I want to say about 2 days. I think I
Mhm.
was leave on a Friday. No,
Mhm.
excuse me, leave on Thursday,
Mhm.
and the arterial bleed happened, and I
Mhm.
woke Saturday.
Mhm.
So it's
Okay.
been closer.
So, and you were in the hospital for a while after that. You didn't come home, and you were by yourself, weren't you? There was nobody with you. Did your
Um,
family come in for that? Who came in for that for you?
Fortunately, and I'm really lucky to have the support system I have.
Yeah.
My sister was with me in the ICU for about 4 days.
Mhm.
I should say the last 4 days of my hospital stay. She stayed with me at night, so
Mhm.
I'm very thankful to her.
Mhm. Now, how long after that were you in the hospital? So now this year in the hospital, 3 weeks. You're in ICU. You almost died.
Mhm.
And then how much longer? You were in the hospital for a little bit longer than that. They didn't send you right home.
No, so I think it was going to be like 3 weeks and 2 days. I want to
Mhm.
say it's a
Mhm.
blur, to be honest.
I know it's a blur to you. I know it is.
Some of those,
Now, what was so hard about this, so after the stimulus process came home, then what happened? Because I know you went through a series of things because you were just, I mean, even to get a hold of you was not an easy task at this point. And then you had one more surgery again
yeah.
in the
So
process of trying to fix it.
my fourth surgery was going to be in a year ago. Right now, it would be coming up in August.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so I think after that ordeal in the hospital, it took a good 6 months for me to feel
Mhm.
like normal again. Um,
Mhm.
right away, as soon as I got out, I felt very um, like mentally foggy. I wasn't there.
Mhm.
It was just it's kind of hard to explain. I felt like almost drunk all the time.
Mhm.
I'm not a huge drinker.
Mhm. I'm sure they had you on medication.
Mhm,
Now, what was so heartbreaking, because we have done quite a few sessions since then, this is a mistake that was made by that doctor,
mhm,
if I remember correctly. So explain. So you guys have to all be so very careful with who you allow
mhm,
to work on you. Because a mistake by them, even as simple as it is, can completely, I mean, it completely changed your life,
mhm.
but where it's brought you at this point, you're a lot better actually emotionally and spiritually than when you were before going in. You're
Yeah.
finally comfortable with yourself and with who you are,
Mhm,
and have learned to really like who you are as a person and value what life is. So this is
mhm.
what this did for you. And even as I start saying that, they also told me that now you have the abilities where you started to see ghosties. You're seeing things evidently. They just told me you're seeing things now more.
So it's funny that you said that. I was working the other day, sitting on the couch, and I had a pen on my coffee table. For no
Mhm.
reason, it started moving on its own.
Mhm.
Um, the air conditioning wouldn't have moved it. I didn't touch the table, so I was
Mhm.
just kind of like, oh, I guess I'm
Yeah,
not
but
alone.
you're more sensitive now
Hmm.
to beings around you. You feel them. And a lot of times when you go through that type of experience, because you legitimately were there. In
Hmm.
fact, it was legitimately, I'm getting, where they lost you and they kind of brought you back.
Hmm.
Um, so usually when you go through something like that, it changes you.
Hmm.
But you know, like you came out knowing so much more. And I think a lot of the problem you had was, is how do I process this?
It, it was hard. Truthfully, I feel like having had this happen, I feel like I'm on my correct path now, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been wanting to go get my PhD for a while. I was looking at history. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because of this, I'm trying to go for human osteology.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which
the,
is,
stu- the
for all of
study
us
of,
who don't know, the
yeah,
study of what?
oh, bones, like
Mm-hmm.
human remains, essentially.
Okay,
Like
cool. Like archaeology.
Bones. Yeah, like that show Bones on TV.
Yeah, very cool. Which we already
Yeah.
know you were an archaeologist in another lifetime anyway. We've discussed that before. And we were actually, the funniest thing is we were actually toying with that, where we said, you really should be going something that's more archaeology, more ancient.
Hmm.
Remember, and it's so funny because before this happened to you, I had said to you in a reading, I'm like, well, you're really supposed to be leaning more towards this.
Yeah,
And this is, remember, we were trying to save up money for you to take a trip. I said,
yeah,
okay, so let's make sure, let's save up money so you could actually go on a dig where you want to
yeah,
go.
yeah.
So it's like all of a sudden this happened and you came out and you were like, okay, this is really what I'm supposed to do. And you took it even a step further
Hmm.
with that. Um, to interject, the journeys and adventures that you are going to go on
Hmm.
are going to be so fulfilling for you. You're going to see things that nobody ever even imagined they can ever think. And you're going to be touching bones that are millions of years old.
Yeah.
You're going further back than just the regular stuff, and that's what you're looking to do,
Hmm.
which is so huge. Now, how did this doctor screw up? Because this is important for people to understand, because then I had to tell him, then I had to smack him in the forehead in one of our readings. And I
Hmm.
actually texted him out of the blue, and I said, why aren't you suing yet? What are you doing? And I hadn't even talked to him, but I knew.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Um,
tell them what this doctor did to you.
so, unfortunately, my medical records haven't been fully unlocked to me. Um, I did try to pursue like I don't know if it was malpractice or I started talking to a lawyer, a
Mm-hmm,
firm here in Chicago, and
mm-hmm,
unfortunately, I didn't get good news.
mm-hmm,
They did not want to take my case on, and
mm-hmm,
at that point, I had already been kind of on the fence with,
mm-hmm.
I would like to know what happened exactly so I can just have that peace of mind and kind of
Mm-hmm.
grow from it.
Mhm.
but I feel like I'm in a good place with
Mhm.
everything
Mhm.
that I don't know if I necessarily need it.
It's not even that. It's the fact that
Mhm.
they tried to hide what happened from you. There's a difference when you go through something and tell me the truth.
Mhm.
What happened? What went wrong?
Mhm.
And through that whole process, they were treating you as if you wouldn't know any better.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't giving you the information that if they didn't give you the information that, or what they gave you, you were going to just take what they said
Mhm.
as being the truth and let it go. The fact that they still have not opened up and released your medical records to you
Mhm.
means there's something there.
I agree.
Something happened. If they're
Yeah.
not, because if it was that cut and dry, but on a case like this, when you're dealing with a case like this that deals with malpractice and everything else like that, a lot of lawyers, especially without all the information, will not take a
Mhm.
case on like that because you have to work with a case like this. What is it that you were led to believe happened to you with the surgery that made it go wrong?
They told us it was more so the equipment that was used that was faulty. So when they removed the bone here, they did put donor bone from my own body um,
Mhm.
into here to build out a jaw, and they put kind of like a Doppler system, so it
Mhm.
fed through my neck here, but
Mhm.
it made sure that the bone
There was
tissue.
blood flow.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
So
There was blood flow.
they think that's what failed, but there hasn't really been a straight answer. So
You have a right to have the answer.
yes, that I
Because
agree.
it's not
Yeah,
okay. Because even
yeah.
before I said it had nothing to do with about you suing. It had to
Mhm,
do with something happened to you and how it changed your
mhm,
life. Because you had come to the point where when we had discussed that, there was no
mhm.
fight left in you.
No.
You were so low. And I said, this
Mhm.
wasn't meant to happen to you. You need to fight and find out
Yeah.
what happened. You need to start advocating for yourself. And then that's when you actually talk to your cousin,
Mhm.
who said that, you know what, yes, this is something that is absolutely worth looking into. And
Yeah.
the problems with these doctors is when mistakes are made, and then they say that it was an equipment failure,
Yeah.
and something happened that caused that bleed, that
Yeah.
arterial bleed, which is what ultimately could have led to your death. So it is so important for you to advocate for yourself because it's not even the fact of suing per se,
Yeah.
it's this can't happen to somebody else again.
I think, without naming names, it is a large medical facility here in Chicago,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and I think the firm that I had initially been talking to, they did all the research. I don't want to say that they were intimidated, but I
Of course
don't
they were.
think. Yeah, I think it's this medical facility has like huge.
Huge lawyers. So you
Yes.
need that ballsy attorney that's just coming out of school, that's fighting for what's right, and you have a right to know
Yeah.
and to be helped and to be cared for through this. And I remember, because that might be is the same doctor doing the last, was he going to be the one that was going to be continuing your care? Did you switch care to another doctor?
Um, I did not switch care, so it was going to be the same one.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the best in the Midwest, and
Mm.
I did my research. Nothing I found pointed to say otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel a little gypped in that he was very confident where we only touched on what could go wrong and not what were the plans on if things went wrong. So
Mm-hmm.
as things kind of continued to go wrong, we kept working through our plan system, and we
Mm-hmm.
eventually hit Z with that arterial bleed. And
Yeah.
Now I'm working with a prosthodontist to get
Mm-hmm.
the retainer.
To get the retainer and to
Mhm.
help with this again. Now, and the thing with you is, and I've worked so hard with you to be able to stand up and advocate for yourself, because
Mhm.
that's because you are a precious being. You are such a precious being of
Thank you.
light, and you are so kind, and you are definitely one that takes things and lets things. It doesn't matter how bad it is.
Yeah.
And that came from some of the things that happened that you suffered through when you were younger,
Mhm.
where you just let things roll off your shoulder because you're like, you know what? If I get all hyper and uppity about it, it ain't going to change it anyway. But it
Yes.
comes to the point where you have to finally say, no, it's enough.
Mhm.
And you have to be strong and stand up for yourself and say, I want to know what happened to me.
Mhm.
Explain to me what happened.
Mhm.
Explain to me how I could fix it, because now we're almost 2 years later. We're a year and a half later now. We're almost a year and a
Yes.
half
Yeah.
later after the surgery they got wrong. They almost you almost lost your life.
Mhm.
And, you know, that story would have been a whole big different story for your family and what would have happened as far as if they, you know,
Yeah.
and see, these big hospitals, they know that. So they know how
Yeah.
to work around it. So you really, this was a lesson in you learning to stand up for yourself and saying, no, you don't
Mhm.
have to take this like, oops, oh, wow. And that doctor handled it like, I'm so sorry. This is like,
Yeah.
oops, it
Yeah.
just happened to you. And that's not good enough. That's not good
No.
enough. That's
Yeah.
why it's so important for you to push
Yeah.
to see those records and to know what happened to you.
Um.
Because this is going to be, you still have a while for recovery. You still have a couple more years. It's not
Yeah.
just till the end of the year. And
Mhm.
that's just physically,
Mhm.
because then now you're also now you're removing the imprint, the negative energy and imprint
Yeah.
of psychologically what it caused.
Mhm.
So even when you're good with yourself, that stuff still lingers and it still
I,
has to be worked through.
yeah. I've been cleansing my space as much as possible, trying to
Yeah, but it's
make sure
not in
there's
your
no
space. You
negative.
have to cleanse you.
Yeah.
It's you
Yeah.
that you have to cleanse and continue, because you were even talking about your highs and your lows, that it
Yeah.
comes in waves, that
It does.
everything comes in waves,
Yeah.
you
It,
know?
um. It's a roller coaster. Every day is a little different, but
And why, now this is you being very vulnerable, because this is going to lead up to where you're already pretty much well on your way. Okay. So I am going to tell you that. I'm going to give you, you're already well on your way to where you need to be. You're so much further. There's some people that just would have lied down and wouldn't even dare do something as brave as what you're doing right now, you know, because you're being
thank you.
so transparent with people.
Mhm.
Honestly, you're really adulting better than most adults adult. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, and I
Yeah.
love my son, my oldest son. And I don't know if he's still on here. He's going to kill me. My oldest son, Dominic. I love him so much, and he is a doll baby, and he is so handsome and talented. So notice his mother is building him up before I say what I'm going to say. But also, he's a perfectionist. So even in his
Mhm.
craft, he works so hard and never stops. That's why he's so good, because he
Mhm.
never thinks he's good enough.
Mhm.
I could have done better. Like, it's never good enough for him. And I'll never
Yeah.
forget, he had injured himself and cut over Christmas time a huge
Mhm.
gash on his eyebrow.
Mhm.
And he waited to go to the doctor. So I said, have your brother go get the butterfly stitches. You had the same one on the other side
Yeah.
when you were younger. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be a bad scar. It's going to be sexy, this and that. This kid was beside himself. I'm going to have this huge gash on my eyebrow.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I'm saying how adult you're being with what you went through. Like, shame on him right now. I'm not going to get any work. You
Mhm.
know, nobody, you know, this whole thing. So I went and through actors and performers
Mhm.
that had scars. But it was so hard for him because in the beginning, that little cut looked so bad.
Yeah.
And it healed just the way I said it was good. But for him, he thought his whole life was over for that little cut, which is the way the majority of people respond over
Yeah.
things that are a quarter of what you went through. So, I mean, you rose from this in such a powerful way, in such a motivating way. So explain, okay, how it is that you felt, you know, when you're home after a few weeks and you were looking at yourself in the mirror, and how you felt about your life at that point, because that you were at a really, really rough time then. It was hard for you.
I'd say my face really didn't settle up until about probably well after that fourth surgery. So around
Mhm.
August, September,
Mhm.
it was still pretty swollen. And
Mhm.
now, you know, the goal was to make my face symmetrical and to take care of the patches that
Mhm.
had the fibrous dysplasia. And
Mhm.
even though, you know, the road was not quite what I expected,
Mhm.
I still kind of got to the destination. Um,
Mhm.
I do like more how I look now than I did a couple years ago. You can definitely see a difference in my face
Mhm.
with the before and after. But
Mhm.
looking in the
Because of the
mirror,
bone growth.
yes, yeah. But looking in the mirror right after the surgery was really difficult. Um,
Mhm.
I look like a completely different person, and even now it's hard to look at photos from then. Um,
Mhm.
so there wasn't much self confidence during that
Mhm.
time, and I probably started to build it up again, more relative. mm, Probably 2021 is when I really
Mhm.
started feeling better about myself.
Mhm. Mhm. In a weird way, COVID and the lockdown kind of worked in your benefit
Oh, it
in a
did.
way.
Mask
Be-
and going like this,
with the
knowing.
mask, yeah, with the mask and being home and having to be home, the more rest that you got. So for you, COVID was actually a
Mhm.
plus with what you had gone through, because I think your recovery would have been so different because you wouldn't have had that time to spend with yourself.
Yes.
Because honestly, you have to, everybody in general, for you to even be in a healthy relationship, you really have to be comfortable alone and like who you are.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Before you can really be strong enough to be in a relationship. Because a lot of people get into these relationships and other people are validating them,
Hmm.
you know? So there's a lot of people like at the end of a relationship, I'm like, you're absolutely not allowed to date anyone. I forbid you. I forbid people to be in
Hmm.
relationships. Let's give this a couple of months. And then when it's time, so you always hear people, can I date yet? Can I date yet? You know, and when they stop asking me that question is
Hmm.
when I know they're more ready than when they keep asking the question, because they want that closeness and that attention. And for you,
Hmm.
you kind of were forced into a form of isolation where
Yes.
you really had to face yourself, um, and what you wanted truly from your life and what you wanted truly from a relationship. And you said like things came in waves. So explain
Yes.
how that process went for everybody in the waves and what brought you here today. Because, you know, you said to me, I'm good with myself. I think I'm ready. I'm
Yeah.
ready to have somebody come into my life now.
I
So there was a whole process over the past year and a half that got you there, and that actually made you that
exactly.
brave.
And I joke. I'm a very big introvert, so being home during COVID was this is like what I've been training for. This is my Olympics. Like I was
Hmm.
completely fine being home alone.
This
Um,
is my Olympic. Yeah.
so even before COVID and before everything, I would do things on my own, going to movies, going to restaurants,
Hmm.
and I'm perfectly fine being by myself, but it would be nice to have a partner to share these things with. And
Hmm.
I think I'm at the point now where, you know, if it happens, that's awesome,
Hmm.
but it's not going to be the linchpin that's holding me back. I'm still going to do what I want to accomplish,
Hmm.
whether if it's with someone on the sideline cheering me on, or if it's just me cheering myself on.
Now, the wonderful thing, and it's so hard for me because even now when you say that, and this is something that we have to work on,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like you're choosing to settle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will not allow you to do that because, you know, I would love to have, because before this happened to you, it was after certain experiences you had, being able to
Mm-hmm.
have the faith and trust in being with a partner again. So you became
Yes.
more comfortable with yourself. But I was like, will you please look up and actually make eye contact with a human being? How is anybody even supposed to know they can come talk to you if you won't even look at them? You
It's funny that you
know,
said
don't
that.
be afraid to open up your mouth. Remember, we used
Yeah.
to have these discussions because we were going through a process.
Mm-hmm.
And truthfully, what you had wanted to do with your future required travel
Yes.
with what you do and the studies you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So for you, it's very hard because once you commit, you're going to be committed,
Yes.
which means once you plant your feet, you plant your feet. So
Yes.
for you, we have to have all your ducks in a row so we know where you're planting your feet is where you need
Mm-hmm.
to be and you're supposed to be, not where you're, okay, this is where we are and now I got to figure everything else out again. So I think
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why universe has done that. We already know it is going to be somebody that might be a little bit older than you that
Mm-hmm.
you connect with. And it's just because they have more of an understanding
Mm-hmm.
of the things that you face, because you haven't faced normal, you know, even before this, you haven't faced normal things that people your age normally would have. You know, if anybody had the series, Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events happen to them, you know, all you have to do is look at Trifon from the time he was 16. You know, all these little things that happen to you. So I guess this, in a way, with being such a nightmare, has been such a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're so much further. But no, you're good enough with yourself that you know who you are and you're comfortable
Mm-hmm.
with yourself and you like yourself. And the thing is I'm even going to say the word, you actually have learned to love yourself.
I think
You're right there.
almost
That's
there.
right there.
Yes.
You're right
Yeah.
there. You're right on that
Yeah.
brink where
Yeah.
it's like we just got to push you over. And that's why I'm so glad you came on here, because if anybody's
Mm-hmm.
going to help you realize that there's something to love in there, it's this group. Because they'll tell you the truth.
Thank
This
you.
group will tell you the truth. They don't care. I mean, all you have to do is, you know, and for them, I think it's very important because it takes them out of their comfort zone and saying, wow,
Mm-hmm.
there's things in our life, but look what this man faced. And I'm saying man because you're not a little boy anymore. You're
Oh,
not,
thank
you know, you're not even the person I met 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, you have grown into the man in acceptance. But for you to say, you know, I feel like, you know what, I'm good with myself and now I am ready to invite somebody into my life. But, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you're supposed to stop there.
Mm-hmm.
I am ready to invite somebody into my life. You don't add the, but if it doesn't happen, it's not going to stop me from going after for what I want. So you just kind of countered your intent.
Yeah.
I'm ready, but I have doubt it's going to happen. So I'll be okay, guys.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. And that we have to change.
Yeah.
That we have to change. Now, I am ready to invite somebody in, because what is it that you learned? The biggest thing that you've learned from this whole experience, because you've evolved, you ascended a little bit because you had to.
Yeah.
Your whole life came crashing down. Everything in your world, and you had to make the decisions after that of what you were going to do and where you were going to go and how you were going to live.
Mm-hmm.
You could have gone one of two ways.
Mm-hmm.
You chose the higher road. You chose the better road. You didn't choose the easy road.
No.
Because even when I say that, they said he could have gone home.
Yeah.
He would have been fine. He could have gone home. He could have packed his shit, you know, his tail tucked in between his legs, and he could have went home.
Yeah.
And then started something different there. But he said, no, this
Yeah.
is where I'm supposed to be, and this is now what I'm going to study, and I'm going to heal from this, and I'm not going to allow this
Mm-hmm.
to change my life into something I absolutely did not want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big decision you made. So coming into it, now that we're at this point, what is it that you learned, and what is it that you feel that you're going to be able to give to a relationship, and what somebody is going to get from you? Because it's an equal exchange of energy. Yeah. It's what we give and then what people get from us. So what is it, the biggest thing you could say that you've learned and that you've realized?
I do feel like I'm my most true self right now than I was a year ago, a couple years ago. So that's a very loaded question. I'm trying to think. I think my empathy has gone up quite a bit since everything that's happened. I do feel like I'm a lot more caring and a lot more feeling towards others' issues. So I think that's definitely what I'd be bringing to the table, is that level of caring and openness and support.
What did you learn about the meaning of life? What did you learn? I want you to think about this. These are the things that's going to make the difference, because you're caught in between and you're still coming to see them. Because what is it that you want in a relationship? So you can accept, you're going to be able to accept people for who they are. Understand the issues that they are going through better than you would have been before. You were never selfish in the first place, and you always were sensitive. You've always had empathy. So I call bullshit on that, because you were already there. So you could say we became more empathetic. I think now truly more understanding versus empathetic, because you already felt things, but I think you understand things on a deeper level now.
You're right, and I think that's
there's a difference. Yeah, that's what you were trying to say, because there's a difference. You were always empathetic. You understand? You always were sensitive. It was hard for you to connect to people just because you had the fear of the connection and the rejection, being taken advantage of, because you used to be the doormat. You can't be used. The greatest thing is you can no longer be used as a doormat.
I feel
you won't allow that energy, which is great. So you're standing up more for yourself. So I think you have a greater understanding. So what is it that you think that you're wanting more from a relationship now? What type of partner? And you're looking for a relationship. He's not looking, and let's just put it, if true love happens, that's great. But what you're looking for, so everybody knows, is a true relationship with somebody where you're experiencing life together and there to support each other. So, which in a way is that powerful kind of love, but isn't that, you're not looking for the lightning to strike. You're looking to build from the beginning.
It's funny that you said that. Even with my own little internal dialogue, watching, cheesy rom-coms, it made me question if I actually do believe in like a true love. So I don't think, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that partnership, that deep trust.
That deep trust, and that's a very deep love, but it's a love that's matured. You're looking for something that grows together. Because a lot of people get that lightning strike. Oh no, they're the person, this and that, and it comes with a whole lot of drama, a whole lot of insecurity, and this is the one where you're like, I'm in this automatically for the whole long haul. I'm looking for something where I can experience a relationship and we can grow together. We can be there with each other and truly be in that trusting relationship. Because this lifetime for you, and it's having a friend and a lover, but such a deep connection, it's different. Okay? Because this lifetime for you is your learning lifetime. This is your lifetime of lessons. So that's your whole lifetime. You're going to be learning lessons, but it's because they're the lessons that you need to learn, because the next one you're ascending. You're leveling up. you're not suffering any karmic from a past life.
That's good to know.
Which is great. We did the soul retrieval, right? We didn't do a past life yet, correct?
We did.
Can't remember. Was it? Yeah, we did it because I wouldn't let you do the past life yet because we had too much with this lifetime that you had to do.
It was right after. It's probably May last year, right after the surgeries and everything, because I felt very like, why am I here? I felt very.
And what happened after the soul retrieval? Because we did that when you truly, really did need it. So what was it that happened with your soul retrieval, and what did it help you with?
I felt like I was coming together. I felt like I was healing spiritually. It did give me a lot of clarity in that I think I'm starting to move onto that right path, and then now I know I am on the path I should be going on.
What were, when we did the soul retrieval, what were the biggest things, I don't remember, that you had to deal with that came to light? Because it wasn't just what happened with the surgery, it's everything that had come before. What was it that
I'm trying to
I probably should have had you find your notes and bring your notes. But for him, it was, he realized that the struggles and battles he was having, which I know you have a note somewhere. So I was just kind of throwing that at you, left wing, and a lot of times you can't remember the things that happened. But where you're at now is you got a new lease in life.
Yes.
You get the opportunity to truly follow the passion and what you're supposed to be doing, the travel that's going to be coming with it, and you're not afraid to live, and you're not afraid to step out of your house anymore. So that introvert is slowly becoming more of an extrovert when he has a purpose and a plan, because you still have to have that purpose and plan. Okay?
Yeah.
And you have a greater understanding. You're like, I'm looking for a partner. I'm looking for somebody to live my life with. You know, it doesn't even have to have any, title on it, that this is the person I'm with and we're living our life together and we're experiencing life and experiencing each other and we're learning, because this is your lifetime of lessons.
Yeah.
But in that doesn't mean you're going to have a bad life. It just means you're going to have a life where you're doing so many things that you're learning so much about yourself, but also about mankind.
Yeah.
Which you've almost gotten to the point where your life is the study of mankind.
Yeah.
But you want to go to the past for you to go to the beginning. So you're the one that's choosing to go back so that we can all move forward. And this is your journey, because you've had a lot of things you had to learn coming out that you were gay, everything you had to deal with that, all the stuff you went to when you were in high school, which is really nobody's business, evolving up through to the point where this happened to you. And it really sucks, but when you look at it, you can even say, even though it sucked and it was traumatic, I'm in a better place now than I was before surgery.
Well, I've been joking that you don't get a personality and a dark sense of humor like mine if you never had anything traumatic happen to you.
And you've had a couple of things happen to you. But now you told me you needed to work on. Now, before we get going through all this, does anybody have any questions that's on here, our little small gathering? Do you have any questions for Trifon or anything you'd like to say? We're going to see if it comes up, because I wasn't looking at the messages as it came through. Oh, but and tell the truth. Too funny. I'm going to keep my eyes up and see if anybody comes on and comes through with that. Because the first thing is that you said to me the other day, stupid thing lags, is that you felt you had to build your self-confidence because you haven't felt sexy in a really long time. Okay. What do you feel you need to improve upon?
Um, well, within the gay community, I'd say it's very appearance based, and
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I've never really fit that mold. So that's something that, while emotionally I feel like I'm matured and I feel like I'm in a good place,
Mm-hmm.
physically I feel like, COVID's been hard. My gym closed, so I've been a little more heavy, or a little more hard on myself for the weight I've
Mm-hmm.
gained.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think I need that confidence again to go back into the into the gym and really work on my physical appearance.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to see if Juan's going to come in live because Juan declined me. Juan, why did you decline me? Juan, oh, hold on 1 second, please. That means he's coming. Juan suffers
Mhm.
self-confidence issues,
Mhm.
but a very different type
Mhm.
that he battles. Okay. And a lot of his is also how he feels about his appearance that he's been working through. There
Mhm.
we go. There's Juan. And I think it's important for you to talk to somebody
Mhm.
who is very much like you, even though incredibly different. Why? There you are.
I,
Hello, gorgeous. How are you?
I'm okay washing some dishes. So I was
This
like,
is a look. He does. Everybody. Juan does do housework. He cleans and does dishes.
I take care of my shit, that's for sure.
See how we're building up to when I have my matchmaking? I'm
Oh,
building up the steam for this. I already have a bunch of people that I'm throwing on whether they like it or not. Um,
work. Yeah.
okay. Now, Juan is very open,
Mhm.
which is wonderful. And Juan tells the truth. And Juan never blows anything up anybody's ass, ever. And it's important. And he is also a gay man that lives in New York.
Mhm.
Okay, so what he's doing is going to be very similar, and you're very close in age because you're 32. You're going to be
Mhm.
32, correct? Trifon?
Yep. Yep.
Yep. And how old are you on?
29.
I'm such a baby. Such a baby. And I'm going to be 50 here in a couple of months. Oh, God help me. Lord Jesus. I'm
You,
fighting it. I'm fighting it, damn it. I'm fighting it. I
50,
will not go quietly. I will not. Did you ever see the movie Death Becomes Her?
Oh,
yes.
it's a great movie.
Listen, we're two gay men. We definitely saw that movie.
And
Yes.
let me tell you something, I am not stupid like those two birds were. I would know what to do. Nobody would have to be putting any pasty pastes on me to try to keep me together. Anyway,
Exactly.
so Juan, and this is where it's important because I want complete honesty. When you listen to Trifon's story, and I want you to hear everything Juan has to say because he's going to be honest with you because he doesn't lie. Okay? How do you, his energy, Trifon's energy, what he's speaking, what vibe is he throwing out? What are the things that you could say about him, which is speaking an absolute truth?
Well, you ooze confidence, and I'm actually, what's the right? I don't is envious has a negative connotation to it, but I want your confidence to rub off on me. I sense so much confidence when you speak, and I don't know if that's
Thank
how
you.
you. But
That was perfect.
I really, really sense that, and I'm like, damn, I really want that.
Hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because tell him what you suffer from, because you suffer from severe body dysmorphia, just like me, okay, that I suffer from my whole life. Um, so tell him the things that you've been battling.
Well, first of all, I think my dysmorphia is so bad that I don't think I have dysmorphia. That's how much I believe about what my body looks like. But so that's number one. I grew up a overweight kid, and that just stayed with me mentally. And I still see myself as that little kid picked on by people. And
Yeah.
as you know, tapping into what you were just saying about the gay community, it's
Mhm.
hard because I tell myself, what is the gay community? What is gay culture? Is it the subset of people that I see on Instagram, or can
Mhm.
I join my own version of what I think gay culture is? And that's something struggling with. But there is in mainstream gay culture, as you were pointing out, there's such a focus on appearance and looking like a model, and that's what I struggle with. As I told Elena before you hopped on, I think I really needed this live tonight because this weekend has been a big struggle for me of like thinking I'm not good enough. A date fell through for me and I took this instance as one person that I was going on dates with that didn't work out and made it about everything about me. I judged myself for it. So I really needed this live. So that's what I struggle with. I took this instance with this person and thought, oh, I must not be good enough for this person, so I probably am not good enough for everybody else. That's what I struggle with.
So here's a lesson in confidence for both of you. Why did you have to go there? Or why couldn't it have been, you know what? The universe just helped me dodge the bullet. This one just wasn't the one for me. Why did it have to be, I'm not good enough? And you make it all about them because you have to take that as rejection. It's because it wasn't, and honestly, it's because the individual you were dealing with, when I'll give you an insight, because I know, that person was a little bit too self-absorbed, Juan.
Yeah, this is the person that I told you.
Oh, and I didn't even know who it was, but no, you didn't tell me about them. They're a little bit too self-absorbed, and you don't need somebody in your life that is all about them. You need somebody that's also going to be about you and actually care about your story and who you are and actually pay attention and be interested in your day.
Yeah.
That was not this human.
I just realized, you just made me realize something because this person, I think on your live that was last night, the postponed one from Friday, I think I asked you the question, what do I do about this guy? I planned all 3 dates and he hasn't done, we have great conversation, but now I realize he talked mostly about himself, the 2 hours.
And
I look so pretty, like, but I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's not, I wish you would have asked me more about me. It's true. It's true. Yeah.
Oh, how funny! Yellow will still get a daddy. And the funniest thing is, and this is where spirit sometimes can become fun because then all of a sudden they become your girlfriend kind of thing. And they jump on the Juan bandwagon, and they said, you know, he was all thinking that he was all beautiful and this and that, but he didn't really have a nice ass. So they're picking on his ass. They're picking on the guy's ass. I guess his ass wasn't as nice as it could have been.
Wait, are these ass? I don't know. What?
In other words, like you, all right, listen. So the funniest thing is with spirit has a way, you know how we all have a way to be each other's cheerleader?
Yeah.
You know, like I said to you, but I told you the truth because they said he was really self-absorbed. This is somebody that really just talked about themselves, and this wasn't the one. Why did he, you know, it wasn't even about having a real kind of relationship. This person wanted you to kiss their ass and worship them, which you were doing a pretty good job doing. Yeah. You know, you were doing all the work, you know, and that's really not what your role is. Yeah. So the thing is when it fell through, I'm like, why did you have to go to the negative and say, I'm not worth it, this or that? It's universe held me dodge a bullet. This person just isn't the one for me. I'm the one that's been putting all the effort in. They've done nothing. It's equal energy. If you're in a relationship and they're not getting equal energy, it's just like when people start and they get excited and somebody says good morning to you, and every single day they're the first one that says good morning, and maybe one morning they slept in and you didn't bother texting them good morning. That person's going to be real hurt thinking, you know, every single day I'm the one that says good morning. Would they even talk to me if I didn't say something first? So when I said, they said he was self-absorbed, he wasn't the one for you. It has nothing to do with your worth. That you dodged a bullet and a lot of bullshit. Because when they even, and this is why it's good to have me around, because even then they turned around and said, and you know, he's sitting here thinking he's all beautiful and this and that, but his ass wasn't all there. You know, he was lacking in the rear end department. And they really said, and as far as to go a little bit deeper, as far as in the intimacy department, he would have fallen short.
Oh.
You got the tea. Oh my gosh.
I what?
The spirits got the tea, all the tea. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. So how much of that was accurate that Spirit told me? Just out of curiosity, because I never even seen a picture of this man.
Well, about his ass, so he's a ballet dancer. He has a great ass. But I don't know. I didn't know much about him outside of 2 FaceTime dates. The good morning, the what you just said about saying good morning and not, he was so bad at texting, and it was getting to the point I'm like, okay, I know you're busy, but in 3 or 4, excuse me, in 3 or 4 days, you can send, hey, I'm busy, sorry, I'm not responding. That's it. But do that. So
well, if somebody, and to be completely honest, if somebody's interested in you, they are going to, and they might have been referring because his ass might have looked like a little girl's ass. Like a tiny, versus, you know, being very tiny, because it's more like, because then they say you had like a little girl's ass. So that's what they were referring to, because they're clarifying, because they don't like ever to be wrong. But the thing is this, is right there it shows you, if somebody, I don't care how busy I am, if I'm interested in somebody and I care, I make a point of, you know, sending something to let them know that I'm thinking about them. You know, and for him not to respond to you like that right there, but that had nothing to do with you. That's all about him.
I guess
had nothing to do with you.
What I get frustrated with is, and also an issue I have that's related to my body image issues, is I just, the person that I'm trying to look like, those are the kinds of people I tend to idolize, and I seek them out and I try hard, and it ends up like this. So I'm like, so then I like tell myself, well, then I'm not worthy of people who look a certain way.
And I want you to look at something. You're very hard for somebody like that to be with. Because you are extremely, and I'm going to say this, you are extremely good looking. You have an amazing personality. You're funny. You do not have a bad body at all. You can eat what you want to eat, basically, and still have a good time. Whereas he's the type of person where for him to do what he has to do, very specific workout, very specific diet, everything is so hardcore. So you're kind of like, you know, the thing that he's not allowed to be. He can't be you. He doesn't have that kind of freedom. He can't go eat a pizza with you. He's not allowed to. You know what I'm saying? So the energy level of where you're both at, he also may not have been capable of even going into that realm, because he's trying to be a professional dancer. I mean, that's a completely different world, and they don't have a lot of freedom. This had nothing to do with you. You were like kind of like the brass ring. I want you to think of yourself as the brass ring.
What is that? What's that? What does that mean? I don't know that metaphor.
Back in the day when the world was a wonderful, beautiful place that we all grew up in, and there was no technology or any of this other fun stuff, we used to go to the boardwalks or to little amusement parks and fairs around the world. And at these places, they used to have these amazing merry-go-rounds with beautiful colored horses and chariots that we could all ride. And on the side, you could ride one of these stallions, and then often just the amount of point where you could reach it, there would be a brass ring. So if we could all just reach, somebody was so lucky that they grabbed that dream, that brass ring, and then they got a prize.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You with a brass ring, but you're a ring that he couldn't keep, because you're in completely two different worlds. You were the brass ring.
Juan, if it helps, I feel the same way that you do. I read a meme the other day that said gay culture is having the crush on the hot guys that used to bully you in high school. So I know exactly how you feel.
Thank you. That's a yeah.
You know, but the key is to turn around, and when you guys go out, to say, okay, I didn't miss out. It's not about me. He just wasn't the one. Universe saved me from spending time with somebody that I shouldn't be with. I am ready to have my partner now. I'm good with myself. I want my partner. And you stop there. You don't say, but if it doesn't happen, because then you're throwing a negative. Whatever it is you want for you guys to manifest it, the laws of attraction, you have to put out there exactly what you want. You have to daydream. It is okay for you to daydream about that beautiful man that you think you want, whatever it is that you're dreaming of. But in the same token, you have to believe that you are the man that can hold on to that. If you have doubts about that, then you're automatically going to be insecure in the relationship, and it's not going to work out. So you have to stop where the negative begins.
So
and have the confidence.
Do I pronounce your name right? Trifon? Trifon?
Yeah. I usually say it's like Griffin with a T.
Trifon.
Trifon.
Okay.
There you go.
You said, oh God, I just lost my train of thought. Wait, you just said it. You said it, Elena, and I was like, Trifon said it first, and you just said it just now. What was it? It's gonna come back to me. But you said something before I hopped on that I really related to, and Elena just regurgitated it. But I'll come back to it.
Such an unattractive word, regurgitated.
I know.
Regurgitated it.
Yeah, echoed.
It's like, you know, we're beckoning the prostate, that thing, because you guys didn't like the milk in the prostate, so we were beckoning the prostate. But now you asked a very interesting question, and I like you guys to be interactive because you live in very much the same world. You asked him earlier before I made you come on, what are some of your self-love practices or self-confidence practices?
Yeah.
Is that what you asked him?
Mm-hmm.
So what are the things that you do to build your confidence and promote self-love? And these are the things that you actually need to do. It's laws of attraction. That's how you call in your partners and the people that you are. So what are they, Trif?
I honestly
have none.
I don't. Now that I think about
none right now. No.
I'm
None.
I have a very self-deprecating humor. Looking at it now, that's my way of, saying the things that other people could say them, but they're coming from me, so they won't hurt type of situation. That's the only thing I can really think of. But
now, let me ask you a question. You start saying those things. You can meet somebody who thinks you like. I'm going to use me as a perfect example. I can use me because I have no problem. As of right now, if you were to ask me, I'm a chubby monkey. I'm a chubby monkey right now. COVID turned me into a chubby monkey. When I was younger, because I was very, very, very much into the fitness world and ran health clubs and trained athletes and competitors, and if I was very specific in what I needed to do. So my kids, I said, when mommy walks by, moo. I want you to moo. Okay? These are just reminders, because when I was younger and I used to model, no matter how light I was, you look great, but it was always 5 more pounds. 5 more pounds. I mean, and when I looked pictures of myself back then, I'm like, oh my God. And in my head, I thought I was the size of a hippo, because in that industry, it was always 5 more pounds. It was always, because let me tell you something, the modeling industry now, and who actually gets to model, is completely different than when I was younger. Because when I was younger, it didn't matter. Even for print work, you couldn't be short. You had to be, it was a lot harder back then. They've actually made a lot more allowances now. But it was always, you look great, but 5 more pounds. 5 more pounds. I'm probably the only kid where the father offered on a regular basis, let's go shopping and buy clothes. I'm like, no, Dad, I can't. I got to lose 5 more pounds. And my father would just look at me. Okay? So, but I could meet somebody and they think I'm absolutely gorgeous. They could think I'm sexy, that I look great in clothes, because I have no problem. I can tell you right now, I know I'm hot as hell and I'm sexy. I may be carrying a little bit of meat right now, but that's okay, because that doesn't change the fact that I am powerful and I am beautiful and I am sexy. And I can say that truthfully and walk into a room and radiate that. Joking around, I get to know you. After I got to know you and I catch you, I might call myself a chubby monkey. Now, say I catch you, okay, and I walk into that room and I'm dressed to the nines because I know how to dress and I know how to accentuate my curves and I know how to create illusions you need to, which is what clothes do. Okay. And then we start dating and having a good time and we get really close. And then my guard comes down a little bit. And all of a sudden, then you're going to hear some things that I might feel about myself. Where when I look in the mirror, because I have body dysmorphia, I'm a chubby monkey. And then I'll hear somebody say to me, stop saying that about yourself. You're not. I think you're beautiful and you're sexy. But if I keep on saying that and projecting that with my partner, what's going to happen is they're going to say, you know, maybe you do have to lose a couple of more pounds. Maybe you should go to the gym. I'm taking somebody who loved me for exactly who I was. And because I kept on talking bad about myself and I projected that, all of a sudden they're agreeing to me. Whereas weeks before, they didn't agree with me at all. Okay, so the words that you use in reference to yourself are so important. So when you do the laws of attraction, it is, and I can tell you right now the story that you've evolved. I found that one meme that I posted and I said, Trifon, this is you.
Yeah.
And it's about that, what truly being sexy was. And, you know, what you go through and overcoming hardships and how you rise above it and the way you were able to speak. You've learned some powerful life lessons and evolved, and you've lived through something. You could have died. You know, you overcame all of that, and look where you're at now. You're saying, I'm ready for a relationship. You being able to go out and hold your head high and just talk to people in general, that's sexy as hell, because that's you being confident. You know what I'm saying? So you have to realize right there, you're already sexy because you could have a conversation. You know, you could be, I have seen some of the people where you look at them and, you know, even when you see people, when people go, looks, I don't get it. You know, they don't look right together. How could that person be with that person? And I'm like, don't you understand? It has nothing to do. It has to do with who they are. It has to do with what they radiate. There is something about that person. I may find somebody incredibly sexy that you look at and you're like, hell no, I don't even know what she's thinking, kind of thing. But to me, they're the most beautiful being in the world. So beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and it's how you project yourself to them. So if you were to look in the mirror, one of the first things you're supposed to do is the mirror exercise every single morning. Juan, what do you say? Because we went over this. What do you say to yourself in the mirror every morning now?
Well, I don't do it.
You're supposed to.
Sorry, my dog was like regurgitating something.
That word is coming back.
He was literally like coughing. So what? I don't do it in front of the mirror, but I do it when I journal in the morning. I write down 5 things I love about myself, looks or personally. But I actually have in my mirror, because I have one of those medicine cabinet mirrors, and it's double-sided mirror, and in the inside is a Post-it note, and I have it up. I've had it. I'm saying, what do you love about yourself?
And what is it? What is it that you love about yourself? Come on, tell us. What is so awesome about you?
This has helped me a lot. Love about myself. I love that I am a good lover. I love that I am a kind person and very compassionate. I'm going to list 3 more things to complete the 5. I love that I'm a curious and learned person. I love that I'm a good friend, really supportive friend, and I love that I love how ambitious I am, and it's brought me back to New York City like I wanted.
That you can follow your dreams.
Yep.
There are so many other amazing things about you.
Thank you. It's hard.
You have to add to your list. Because let me tell you something. I love that I'm a great lover. Okay, so let's add on to it. What makes you a great lover? Why do you think you're all that in a bag of chips?
I mean, I'm attentive. I'm affectionate. I don't know. I what I noticed that it's interesting. What I'm not getting from other people that I meet, that I put out, because I'm a good lover, is like I like to make the other person feel like they're present with me. And you don't want that when it's something casual. They don't want to feel present. They want to get the job done. And so that's what makes me, I think, a good lover, that I'm very present, and I want the other person to feel like I am paying attention to them. Like, it's not just a deed. It's like, you're a human being. We're two human beings.
Tell me about your touch. What does it feel? What do you feel somebody would be feeling when they touch them?
Appreciated, safe, comforted, safe. I don't know, the word safe jumps out at me. Maybe because it's what I'm looking for, but that's what I feel like that's what I emanate the most.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is like, and this is how confident I am, and we all know that I don't do the one night stand thing and everything. Like, I have to be connected to somebody, be with somebody. That's just my hang up, guys. Sorry, I'm not a Tinder baby.
It's not a hang up. It's not a hang up.
You know, so for me to connect with somebody, I have to be in a certain place with them. But I can honestly tell somebody when I first meet them, I said, if you ever get me to the point where I'm going to touch you, I can set your whole body on fire without even having to lay a finger on you. That's a pretty fucking bold statement, isn't it?
I think that needs to be a class on Sensual Sundays.
I actually did that. I have to see if I could find the clip. I did that to the one, and I can do it to anybody because I have that ability because I'm an energy. I work energy. Mm-hmm. This is real. Magic is real, guys, and it does benefit you in your sex life, okay?
Signing up. There you go. Okay.
And I told, it was Radio Sapphire, I was on her show. I said, I could make your whole body tingle and not even have to lay one finger on you. And she looked at me, and on this live, on her podcast, on her video podcast, I did it. I just took my fingers and I knew exactly what to do and exactly what areas to move up. And her whole body started to tingle, and she was like, holy shit. I know what my capabilities are, but I know for a fact, and what really it strikes me as funny is if I was one that was to be interested in just getting it in, you know, hitting it and quitting it, like you said, people don't want to feel present in it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's non-committal. If I was ever to be somebody who was interested in hitting it and quitting it, let me tell you something. I would make a point of making every single time so memorable that they would never forget me or what I did to them. And that they might want to come back, and I might be the one that's saying no. But you understand what I'm saying? For people to want to do anything mediocre, especially in that, I just don't. That's mechanical. That's when you guys do all that mechanical shit. So you really have to work on being more specific. You are beautiful. You are sexy. You are charismatic. You are intelligent. Okay? One of the biggest things is, and it works in your favor, you're very much a man, but you still have that little boy vibe.
Yeah.
You know, the person you're with, he's going to be the daddy. He's going to be the daddy. You know what I'm saying? It's giving to a point when you meet them that it's that boyish grin that catches people. Because you almost look innocent and you're not.
That's very true.
And you use that. So now you're understanding where I'm going with that. You use that to your benefit. But that is a gift that you have. You have to really speak more truth about yourself and who you are. So then if something doesn't work out the way it's supposed to, you're not going to say, I must not be worth it. You are worth it. It's just you two did not connect in the way you needed to. The fact that you had 2 phone dates, video dates, that's amazing. Because you didn't waste any time and energy. It already didn't work out before it got started. There was nothing wrong with that. Trifon, if you were to turn around, that's why when you're looking, I'm like, no, they think they're going to be your daddy, but they have no idea who's going to rule the roost when they get a hold of you.
And it's like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is a little bit different. He takes a little bit more control than we thought he was going to, because you're actually a very powerful being, but you're kind of like in disguise. You really are.
Yes. Yeah.
They don't see you coming. People don't see you coming.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Trifon, what could you say? What would you start saying tomorrow morning if you looked in the mirror that you would be saying that was positive about yourself? Because that is really the first bit of homework you have to do. You have to look at yourself and see yourself as beautiful and sexy and desirable.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. Top 5, I'd say my intelligence, my sense of humor, my eyes. I love my eyes. Oh, I need two more. Um, a very sad sense of humor. I can have a conversation and know what I'm talking about. Um, I like my height. I like how tall
How
I am.
tall are you? How tall are you?
I'm
You're what?
5'8".
Okay.
So I'm at like 6 foot, but
Super, but you're not like 5'5", so you're right
no,
there. Right.
no.
Juan, what do you think you could add to his list of things he could say that is desirable about him to build his confidence?
I, from what I can tell on this live, um, great listener, which means that you're very like you are connective.
Mhm.
A lot that are not. You're very connective. Um, Interesting you said your eye. Well, I'm gonna agree with something you said. Your eyes, because when I saw the picture, like in all honesty, when I saw the picture that Elena used to promote
Mhm.
those, wow, he has beautiful eyes, and the shape of your eye.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just
Mm-hmm.
want to give that compliment. Yeah.
Thank you. Um,
Um.
so that is one of the first photos I stopped using filters on. I feel
Mm-hmm.
confident, excuse me, confident enough now not to use filters on photos.
That photo that Elena used,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the one he sent me.
it's a great photo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, like there's your dating app photo.
Well, the thing is this is, and the thing is this is the fact that you didn't use a filter. You
Mhm.
know, there's, because the first thing that I saw in that picture was the same thing. I saw your eyes and the color of your eyes, and that they were green, but the flecks of yellow.
Mhm.
You could see the flecks of yellow, and you could see your heart. So looking into your eyes in that picture,
Yeah.
you could actually see your heart, because you're all heart. You
Yeah.
feel so deeply and greatly. So they say, you know, the eyes are the window to the soul, but your eyes are the window directly to your heart.
Oh.
I
And
don't think anybody would know exactly what they were seeing
mhm.
if they saw into your soul because of how far back it goes.
Mhm.
So
That
they would
makes me.
lack the understanding because of how old you actually really are. They would lack the understanding because some people, you could look at them and they're very intimidating. So I think if they were able to actually see that, it would confuse the hell out of them. So yours is actually the window to your heart. And there's very, very few people, because that's all that matters.
Mhm.
Because when it comes down to it, even though you're not looking for that lightning straight love, you're looking for that relationship, you're actually looking for a relationship on a deeper level.
Mhm.
You're looking for a true heart-led and connected relationship,
Yeah.
which is completely different. It's at a completely different level. So what
Mhm.
you have to do to start building your confidence is you have to actually look at yourself. And Juan has been in therapy in reference to a whole bunch of different things, where you start telling the truth about yourself and who you are and how intelligent you are. You know, so for you, you're not just looking to start dating as well, but it doesn't mean you're not looking to not expand your friend group and hang out, but you really do have friends.
Mhm.
You really do. And I think it's you the whole time that has kind of blocked a friendship ever going anything further.
I think you're right.
You have put up the barrier.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Which is huge. So that's where you start building your confidence. And honestly, anything that makes you feel sexy. For me, dancing, I dance. I love music. It doesn't matter. I can be in the middle of a store. If a song comes on, I'll start dancing. I'll be like moving around. I mean, I'm not even kidding. I have no filter when it comes to stuff like that. I just feel music, and then
Mhm.
I'm confident enough in myself. But for me, if I'm needing to feel sexy, and I'm needing to kind of really feel how powerful I am and just feel myself and to feel beautiful, I'll put music on and I'll just start dancing. I'll just start dancing because that opens me up. So
Yeah.
then the practice of whatever it is that you connect with, that opens you up.
Mhm.
And you have to do it in baby steps. So for you, it's just the law of attraction and going through the processes and not being afraid to say hello or for you to ask somebody else out.
That has been a big thing. Um, yeah. I
Because
I
when
definitely.
one does not make eye contact,
Mhm.
and defers the eyes and won't, because you have a tendency to not even give a person the opportunity to find out that you might even be interested in them. Most people will not even come speak to somebody at least until they've made eye contact with them.
I've been told I come off kind of aloof, and that's more so because of insecurities that I had growing up, and I put a wall up, essentially.
So now we're working on breaking them down.
Exactly.
But what I am happy is by the end of this live, you have something you can wake up in the morning and you can look at yourself and say, I'm fucking fantastic. And you go Jersey, man. I'm fucking fantastic. I am fabulous. I know I am a good partner. I am I am affectionate. I know how to give, you know how to let somebody have their own space. Me, I don't know how to give anybody their own space, because I'm like Lucy Leach. I'm a cuddler. I could be laying on the floor. You could be sitting on the couch and my foot would still have to touch yours. This could be a problem for some people, because I got to be like crawling inside the person I'm with kind of thing. Yeah. You know how to give somebody their space. You're intelligent. You have conversations. You believe that people have a right to live their life and their passion, that it's okay if that's going to take them away from you for a little bit. You don't hold on too tight. You know, there's all these wonderful things that you offer people. You're able to take care of yourself. The only thing you ask of another human being is to respect you, to love you, and to be able to take care of themselves.
Exactly.
You believe in equal energy and equal partnership. You're not looking for somebody to take care of you. But you also don't want to have to be the one that takes care of them, because you're supposed to be taking care of each other. These are amazing traits that you could say that I am, you know, fantastic about myself, you know. And then the thing with you is you're to the point where these things are true, and now you have to actually start exploring everything else about you. Yeah. You know, exploring. Like Juan can absolutely tell you 100% what he can do for you in bed. In a heartbeat, Juan could tell you what he can do for somebody in bed. He has no problem. I could tell you what I could do for somebody in bed in a heartbeat. You're not there yet.
Well,
you're a little bit more shy.
Well, I thought I saw my sister jump on to the live too, so it might be a little.
That's at this point. All right. How old's your sister?
22.
She's 22. She's had sex already. Sorry to let you know.
Well, I hope so.
Okay, we hope so. Back in the day, they would be like, no, they didn't. They took a promise ring. But in other words, she's 22 years old. You're 32. You almost died.
Yeah.
Talking about sex and how you are as a partner should never be something you're afraid to talk about. Nothing is taboo, because it's very much a part of who you are and who we are as living beings on this planet. And the biggest problem is people have been afraid to talk about it. And let me tell you something, from the time my boys were teenagers and getting ready to start dating and getting serious, this is the crazy mom. I said, you know what? I got you guys 100%. But don't ever let me get a knock on my door because something happened between you and your wife or a girlfriend, or somebody started cheating on you because you weren't taking care of them intimately. I said, you are my child and you are a direct reflection of your mother. I said, but this is but it's like, you have to be considerate and take care of who your partner was. My son Parker knew how to, I'll never forget, he painted my toenails like when he was 5 years old. He was like my little boyfriend. I was madly in love. He used to pick me flowers and everything. And I said, and he did such a good job painting my toenails. I said, Parker, you got some serious game, kid. And he'd look at me. I said, because I know you're going to get in trouble when you're older with your girlfriends. I know you are, because I know your attitude. I said, but you know what? You're going to get ultimate forgiveness. You paint toenails, you bring flowers. I said, you know, I had to give my boys game, you know, to get them out of trouble for if they did something stupid kind of thing. It's so important to be attentive of your partner, even if you're not into something, to be willing to do something for another because of how much you love them. You know, but don't ever be afraid to have that conversation. Your sister knew you almost died.
Yeah, I come from a
Live your life. Live your life.
And
you come from a Greek background?
Yeah, so that sex was really never a topic that was
Well,
talked.
because they didn't talk about it. But let me tell you something. Greek are very passionate people, and they're very sick when it comes to the bedroom in a good kind of way, just like Italians are,
Yes.
just like your Latin communities are.
Mhm.
There's certain things we excel at.
Mm-hmm. I think
They
it's
just came from a time back in the day where they weren't so vocal. But
yeah,
now you're in a time where your family accepts that you're gay.
yeah, yeah.
So why is it such a big deal for you to turn around and say, this is what I can do for somebody in bed, especially on something like this, because it's Sensual Sunday. You're not at the dinner table talking in front of your grandmother telling what you're going to do. There's a time and a place. There's a time and a place.
That's very true.
But it's you starting really to explore and not be afraid
Mm-hmm.
to speak your truth and who you are, and even be able to say what it is that you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but building your confidence first is going to be you turning around and getting up in the morning and saying what you are and going out and projecting and actually having conversations with people,
Well,
saying hello.
as soon as we hang up, I'm gonna write down like what you did, Juan. I'm gonna do a sticky note inside of my mirror, so every time I open it,
Mm-hmm.
I have at least 5 things right there that I love myself.
Yeah.
And I want you to learn to make eye contact with people and not look away.
Yes, that's.
I want you to, and then, you know what, walk by somebody, because even if they have a mask on, just so you know, you have beautiful eyes, and just walk away.
Oh, okay.
Even I'm
Point
scared.
No, I do to people all the time, because it's true. Like, you know, it's just when you look at somebody, or let me tell you something. I went to the dentist the other day. I've been scared to death. I finally found a dentist here that does everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I walk into this dentist, and they were so meticulous, but I felt like I went home. I'm telling you, the past life shit that came up in this office, I'm like, please tell me you guys do everything. Anything I might want to do with my mouth, please don't tell me I have to go elsewhere. Like, do you guys do surgeries and this and that?
Yeah.
And, you know, they do everything in office. But these people had such an amazing energy, and this poor woman who was my doctor I said, you just have the most amazing energy. I said, I have to tell you. And she's like, oh, wow, thank you very much. And because I'm laying there while she's working on my teeth, and you know, because I haven't, you know, I usually go every 6 months, and I haven't been able to go because this is a new place, COVID. And I said, and I make fun of myself because I'm like the plaque, my God. And I said, you know what you are? And this is me, the retarded child in the dentist chair, because I'm an infant. And she goes, what am I? And she pulls a pick out of my mouth. I go, you're like a tooth archaeologist. I said, you're like scraping all the shit off. And she just started laughing. But this is the type of energy. I'd never been in there before. Yeah. And then I laid there. I said, I have to tell you something. I'm crazy, but your great grandfather is really going to bug me later because he keeps sitting here and I keep seeing him. I said, and I don't know if you believe in it. And I told her who I was. I said, your grandfather was an alchemist. I said, but we're going great, because we're going back. I said, because I can see where he was. I said, you need to talk to your mother and see your history. I said, you're directly connected to him and how intelligent he was, because he was a philosopher and he wrote things down and he was in the medical profession, but he was one of the original alchemists, which was so cool. And she just was like, really? I said, yes. She goes, how do you know? I said, because he's sitting there. I could see exactly what he's wearing. I could see what he looks like. If they have any old pictures, because that's one of them old pictures of what he could possibly look like. I said, but it's amazing. I said, your lineage of who you are and where you came from is absolutely amazing. And I said, and it's why you are today and why you're such an intelligent but quiet soul, because she was just this quiet soul. Just this good-natured person, you know what I'm saying? And so then this was like what happened at the dentist the other day for me. But I'm not afraid to tell people a truth about them. Because what's the worst thing they're going to say? If I looked at you and I said, oh, my God, you have beautiful eyes. They're absolutely amazing. And I just kept walking. What the fuck would you do, Trifon? What would you do?
I think I'd be taken aback. I'd say thank you. And,
you know?
Yeah.
Even if you were a cranky person and somebody out of the blue just paid you a compliment and kept walking, I think those are good lessons for you in being able to approach people. Because, you know, just so you know, pay a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Tell somebody to have a nice day. When you can see a smile, you have a brilliant smile. Or even if you're in a line and you say something and you see those lines go up this way,
Mm-hmm.
so you know you're wearing a mask, but based on how your eyes are sparkling right now, I know you have a brilliant smile.
Oh,
My
yeah,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
my mom, as down as she is about herself, she was always really good at telling other people compliments like that. But I feel like I get the sense, like I sometimes I sense that when compliments like that come from a man out of the blue, people receive it differently. What do you think, Elena?
Huh.
That would be somebody who is extremely taken aback.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, the good practice when you're out, which is a true thing because you don't know who you're running into.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You understand? You don't know who you're running to. And I have to remember there's a difference between a man paying a woman a compliment versus a man paying a man a
Mhm.
compliment. You know what I'm saying? So I guess in your guys' situation, they might take it differently. A woman will always be like, wow, if you do it the right way. You're not telling a woman she's got a nice ass where she's going to scream, you know, chauvinist or all this other bullshit that they scream. It's how you present it, but don't be afraid to. Don't be afraid to pay a compliment. If you feel the vibe and you can, you know what I'm saying? If you're talking to somebody and just strike up a conversation, you just have to learn to talk to people.
Yeah.
See, me, I have no filter, but I feel people's vibe.
Yeah.
And I make a point of going after the cranky people. I make a point of going after the people that are growling, so I pay them a compliment, so they look at me and they're like, kind of thing. Like, it really kind of pisses them off that I paid them a compliment. But I was telling the truth, because why are you so damn cranky? Why are you going to be putting out that kind of energy? There's no easy. So for me, I don't have a filter. You feel the vibe of where you are and pick your compliments wisely.
Juan, I don't know about you, but sometimes if I give women compliments, it's always on something I know a straight man wouldn't. Like oh, I really love your nails. They look really nice. I know straight men
Which
typically
is,
don't look at that.
they won't do that. Exactly. So pick your compliment, you know, that you're doing. But if it's genuine and honest, usually it's going to be received. And even if somebody responds poorly, you were still brave enough to open up your mouth and speak. You still made eye contact with somebody where you could pay them a compliment. And that's your biggest thing. You have to learn to start making conversation, you know. And I know in this world today, the way people are, it's a little bit scary to talk to anybody because of all the shootings and everything that people is doing right now. But you have to be brave enough to put the energy out there to give it back, you know. So don't be afraid to make eye contact and talk to people.
This is where apps, like social media and like dating apps, even hookup apps, it's like to such our disadvantage. We become, I'll speak for myself, I become so dependent on the phone and apps to connect with people that, I mean, it has really happened where I'm in a room of gay men and like, you know, it's funny, a friend told me this happened to them yesterday, like seeing two gay men like check each other out and they take out their phones to see if they're on Grindr or something. Or like, I wonder if they're on Grindr. Instead of like going up to them and talking to them, check their phones, like, are they on this dating app? I just saw them, you know. But before I forget, what you had said when Elena brought you on, and Elena called you out on it, because I do this too, is like saying the yes but, like yes,
no but
if it doesn't happen, I do that all the time. I always say, but if I'm single, it'll be fine. If I'm single the rest of my life, that's fine too. First of all, I don't know what I want, but even then, I always say yes, but. So just want to say thank you both for talking about that, because I do that all the time.
Well, that's what you have to cut off the negative. You can't follow the positive with the negative because you just canceled it out.
Yeah.
And you left it on the negative. You know, and with, like, I could give you guys a whole bunch of stuff that you need to do. You know, like for me, you evolved so much, Juan. Everything that we've gone through with all the work that we've done over the past year and getting you back into New York and really feeling good about your job and who you are and being able to have the conversations with your mom so that she could improve. I mean, you've gone through a lot. You really have in your own right. And I don't even want a real relationship. I'm like, Juan, but you do. And you and I would go back and forth. I'm like, Juan. And then you're like, no, I just want to, you know, I'm not about that. And then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks ago, you realized, you're like, you know what? I do want to connect with somebody. And I do want to be in something that's a little bit more than just a hit it and quit it. Like you shifted, but you shifted when you were ready to, which was huge. Because there's so much more to you than a hit it and quit it.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to connect, but that was a fear for you to connect on that deeper level because of past things. Like you've really let go of shit and gotten to the point like, okay, I'm willing to give this thing another try, the whole relationship thing another try. But you had to kind of go through that circle.
When seeing this weekend, it's so day to day. I like this weekend is a weekend where I feel like fuck relationship, screw it. And I don't know. It's I know I want to connect, but I know I'm also chicken. Like you, as you say, you're chicken shit. Yeah. Because I think what I'm really realizing is I've been talking to people more to get validation and attention than to actually like find someone to fall in love with or to just like. And that's a problem. It's maybe make me wonder if I need to take a break from dating and also, I noticed that I'm a very picky person, and I'm very picky with who I talk to, and I'm also picky about myself. So, and I don't know, it's just a lot of fear. There's fear that if I get into a relationship, will I get bored? Will I always feel like there's something better? And because I think they're gonna think that of me, so I project that on other people too.
So you have to change that projection. So stop being trying to be so damn perfect. When you go out this weekend, it's not fuck dating. It's I'm going out to have a good time. And I'm going to talk to people. And I'm going to learn about people. And I'm going to have fun. And in that process, maybe, just maybe, you'll actually surprise yourself. And there's somebody that's going to stick out. Because you had that energy. And you didn't put any boundaries on there. You were saying hi to everybody. You're talking to everybody. You're having a good time. You were radiating that. And then all of a sudden, somebody may take you by surprise. And you're like, ooh, I'm interested in that one. And then you find the people versus stop having checklists when you go out. But I will tell you that thing that people say when they turn around and say, you know, you generally change the whole day, the same type of person. Just change who you're attracted to. Now, you can't help who you're attracted to. You're attracted to a vibe, you know, how somebody looks. There's certain things that the chemistry that get you going. You're very visual. Men in general are very visual, okay? Visual is huge for them. So that's something that's normal and what's just been how you were born. That's your nature. So that's normal. So sometimes you could try to change, like, oh, you're always looking for a jock or somebody who's shredded or this or that. Why don't you not do that and just go out and date the person that might be a little bit more chubby in the middle and is more like a professor attitude and this and that. That doesn't always work. Don't think by changing the type of person you're interested in that that's necessarily going to work. Just be more open to cast your net, to have that human experience and to connect with people to see who you truly connect with vibe-wise. Because you may find that you start talking to somebody that initially when you looked at them, they may not have been your norm, but there was something about how they spoke to you and the vibe they had and how you made them feel where all of a sudden this person that may not have been the best looking to you, all of a sudden at the end of that conversation is absolutely gorgeous. And it's all because you gave them a chance to open up their mouth and speak. So stop being such a snoot. Turn your nose down a little bit, Juan, when you go out. But don't worry about going out and saying fuck relationships. No. I'm open up to a relationship if something presents itself. I'm not necessarily going to be uber focused on it. I do like the apps in one thing where if you're having video conversations, you're able to see each other and talk to each other and get to know each other better.
Oh, and it saves so much and money. Oh my gosh. It's
yeah,
great.
versus, you know what I'm saying, versus going out, but then a lot of people will connect, go home and have sex and then that's it, and they don't even know each other. You know, so you have an opportunity to really get to know somebody and their vibe better. So that is the one good thing about these apps kind of thing. But video phone calls are so important because people catfish. Like the fact you don't use a filter, like I don't use a filter. I refuse to use a filter. I won't do it. If I do something, they're goofy filters with my girls that make me look very unattractive versus the attractive ones. Because some of these filters all of a sudden take a girl and make them look like they have this milky porcelain perfect skin. I'm like, that is so full of shit. That's not them. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you're even being brave enough not to use filters now, that's confidence. So you coming on here, that's self-confidence. That makes you sexy. You saying those things about yourself, that's self-confidence. That's making you sexy. So now we have to cut off the negative. We have to be able to turn around and find a way to talk to people. I gave you a trick. Pay a compliment to people. If you don't want to do that, don't be afraid to make eye contact and have a conversation. Or if you're standing in a line and there's somebody that you might be a little bit interested, pay it forward. Buy them their coffee.
Yeah.
Use it, I'm paying it forward. You know, so then it's not necessarily hitting on somebody kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying it forward. Whichever way makes you more confident to make eye contact with people and start conversations. Because once they start talking to you, then it's a whole different story.
That's true.
So even in,
I was just going to say, on everything you said about the dating apps, I've been through too, and I used to joke that, you know, picky is negative. I'm not picky. I'm just selective. I know what I like.
You just know what you like, and you're not going to deter from what it is you like. But it's honestly, there's a feeling, because even when people start talking, you start talking to them, what could possibly, like a lot of people don't know, like I'm a straight rock chick. You start talking about metal bands. I know about Black Sabbath. I know about Deep Purple. I know about Rainbow. I know when Dio was in, you know, Deep Purple, when he was in Black Sabbath, when he had his own thing, when he was in Rainbow, you know, that whole stuff, which I just screwed that up, which is fine. I know who Queensryche is. I've been to the concerts. I could tell you who Jeff Tate is.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to see Jeff Tate in October. I'm very excited about this. So, you know, even about cars, like my son will tell you, he'll go looking for a car with me because his mom knows engines. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you start having conversations with people and the things you're interested in, it might be the fact that I knew who Queensryche was, and I was at that tour and in that stadium when something happened, that could be the thing that connects me to another human being. You know, or what leader an engine might be, you know, or what kind of cars I've owned and things like that. There's different things that will connect you, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Wow. And then all of a sudden there's a connection. So it's just being open and having conversations. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you can't be afraid. But I think you have to start there, because sometimes I give you guys too much to do. And it gets to be overwhelming. And I'm learning that because I get all hyper. And I'm like, well, if we do this, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that.
All good.
You know, but now that the world is opening up, and Juan, you're just too hard on yourself. You made the movement to move forward and connect. And then because it didn't work out quite the way you thought it should or expected it should, you get nervous and you back off. It scares you.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? But it's like that old, so you have to have 10 no's before you get a yes kind of thing. You're not just going to meet the next person and they're going to be your do-all, end-all, especially because you just really started figuring out what it is that you really wanted.
Yeah.
Because you're just starting to really get comfortable with yourself. So stop being so hard on yourself. Because you're so hard on yourself, you're projecting that on everybody else.
Yes. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's work in progress. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's forever. That's something that never ends.
Yeah.
You know, that's even no matter how old we are, that always happens. We're always a work in progress. We're always evolving. The minute you think you've learned everything is the minute you just became ignorant and just got kicked back all the way back to the beginning. Because even me, I don't know everything, but I'm constantly learning. I trust what I hear. I want to find my next one on a yacht, and he owns it. Yellow Wolf looking for a sugar daddy.
And my best friend is she is a psychic medium, but she doesn't do it as an occupation. She just always sees dead people, always gets downloads. she's always told me, Juan, I keep seeing you like at 33 on a boat with your guy, and your guy like pilots boats. So you, yeah, Yellow Wolf, you and me both. I don't know. I don't care.
Must be the water connection.
Yeah.
The water connection. Well, like even I keep telling you, I see you being bi-coastal.
Right. Yeah.
You're eventually your business is going to take you New York, LA. New York, LA is going to take you even Miami. You're going to be somebody who deals with people that are in coastal. You're not going to be sticking in one spot.
I mean, in relation to dating and being in New York, I've really like this weekend. I mean, this weekend was the shit on dating weekend, but I was thinking like New York is such a hard place. New York City, specifically Manhattan, being as the closer you are to Manhattan, the harder it is to find people who want to connect. It's horrible. In my opinion, that's my experience.
Stop projecting that.
Okay, you're right. Okay.
Because I know a lot of people that have found their forevers in Manhattan.
Yeah.
You know, you have a very wide fishing, you have a lake to fish off of, not a pond. Where you used to live, it was a little pond. There you have like almost an ocean of people. Stop projecting that, and because you're projecting that. That's you projecting and already setting yourself up not to be able to find somebody. Right. When you change your thinking, that automatically is going to change what you draw in. It really is. And you can't block yourself. You just can't be uber focused. And let me tell you something, this weekend was rough for you, not because it was fuck dating, is because this guy, you really liked him. Mm-hmm. You were really interested in him. You were really putting effort, and you had let down a wall to even think of connecting.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And then the first time you do it, he doesn't respond the way you needed him to. It's not even just wanted. You and your spirit needed that. So for you, it was kind of your heart broke a little bit. And then you're like, okay, why am I even trying? What's the point? You know, yeah. But then you learned a lesson. You know, when I really look at it, he really wasn't taking any interest in me. It was never about me or what I was doing. It was always about him, what he was doing. So you learn something about a relationship, which is huge. Because let me tell you something, this full moon, like I did the full moon live, this is a hedonistic moon. This is a primal, carnal pleasure moon. This is one where you're allowed to, because everything's open up, go out and have a good time. As long as you're doing, I always say doing no harm, because, you know, there are people that are really looking to fall in love and not just get it in, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. But going out and being decadent and indulging and self-love, it is all about you right now, and self-love and taking care of yourself. So tap into the moon's energy, because it's actually making you see things more clearly. You know what you want. So those are the things you get, and you cut off the dead weight of the people you don't want. Juan, you did that. You got rid of the ballet dancer. Mm-hmm. He is no longer on your things to-do list.
I'm proud that I did.
Yes, that ballet dancer, you cut him. You cut the dead weight. He is no longer on your things to do, because you will not be doing him. So, literally. So that's why I put it there. I was waiting. Usually, like if Lucy was on, Lucy would have caught that in a second.
Literally, yes.
Literally. Lucy would have caught that in a second. It was like, 7:47. I'm like, Juan, you're not taking it. Why am I having to really bang, hit this one home? But yeah, so it's just important. That's how you start. But what I'm going to do, the next slide, what I'm going to do is actually blog and do the things that you would go through to build your confidence and make yourself feel sexy. But it's so similar to the laws of attraction. It's so similar. They're basically kind of like the same subject. But for you, Trifon, it was different because your face was altered because of the surgery.
Yeah.
And right now where you say, I have a little bit of an indentation here, but in that picture, like we said, the first thing we saw was your eyes. We didn't see that indentation. You know what I'm saying? Now, how would I fix you right now? Do you want to know how I would fix you?
Please, yeah.
You didn't comb your hair right.
No, it's a Sunday.
So you're coming on here. Now listen to me. You separated your face. You purposely separated your face without realizing it because you have part of your hair parted here, and the other part is parted the other way. So I can see two halves of your face. If you put your hair like you normally do it, then it all goes to the side and it flows.
Yeah, it's been...
Oh, you have a great forehead, by the way.
Oh, great forehead, yes. And great eyebrows. Now, look, once you did this, so now you're putting it over. We have these curls coming down here. Look how balanced you look.
Yeah, it does look...
You see the balance? You don't notice, but so you don't notice that indentation as much. Yeah. And that's part of self-love. Yeah. That's part of taking yourself. So when you get up in the morning, just like I tell my son who has the beard and looks like a friggin' crazy Amish kid, I say, go get that damn beard cut and have your brother cut your hair.
Come on,
I'm like, this is crazy now. I am that mom. Or they grow a mustache, and I'm like, that mustache, that little caterpillar, that ain't working for you. I'm like, no, I am that mom. But I'm that mom. You can tell me my ass looks like it's getting too big. Please do. Let me know. Tell me the truth. I'm not looking. You got to handle me. I got a booger in my nose. Let me know so I don't go outside and have a booger in my nose in front of everybody else. People you care about, you love, and you're in a safe space. So now that you have done that, you really can't see that indentation here that you're so worried about. Well, but that doctor is going to do. So now all of a sudden in a couple of months, you're going to have that prosthetic that's going to fix what that doctor did. Yeah. Yeah. So now what you have to do is you have to have self-love. When you look in the mirror, you have to project what it is you want. You look at yourself and how can I improve what I look like to attract somebody in?
On a good hair day, I'd say number 5 is my hair, but it's been so humid.
So you have gorgeous head. You have that Greek hair. You have dark hair. It's gorgeous. You have natural curl to it. It's at the length where you have the curls and they come down, which people love. Yeah. You have a very specific look about you, especially when you dress, because you dress very, very nice.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So, when you do that, it's very, very important. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you were able to come on and you knew that your hair wasn't in perfect and you didn't go take a shower and all that other stuff, get yourself all doodadded up. I even love Juan when I get him on the days when Juan's hair is crazy. And I'm like, yes, look at that hair today. That's confidence. That's confidence. But there's certain things that I know that you're uncomfortable about. Well, how do we fix it? It's very easy. Mm-hmm. Create flow in everything that you do. Because you are handsome. You are a handsome man. And you are smart and you're intelligent. You're just a really, really nice guy.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
So the really, really nice guy part has to become that really, really nice, strong, assertive guy that's not afraid to make eye contact with somebody and say hello.
Yeah, you're right.
That's going to be the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Because if people don't know that they're interested in you, you know what I'm saying? It's important.
You know what I used to do? Because I'm very introvert, extrovert, more extrovert, and extrovert comes first, and I'm introverted. Because I have my moments like when I'm interested in somebody, I kind of clam up and I get really nervous. So, and this is easy because I was riding subways before COVID, but I was maybe 4 years ago when I first moved here. Someone would catch my attention. I noticed that I would catch theirs too. And if I had a business card or a note, I would write my name and my number, and hey, would love to meet you. Would love to. And it's not the same as going up to a person and be like, hey, you're attractive. Let's meet. It's more because I was
a very subtle way.
Yeah, it was subtle and it was comfortable because I didn't have to the most I had to do was write it down. I was shaking to myself on the train, writing it down, and then the most I would have to do is go up to them, just give it to them silently, make eye contact, and just leave and run away. And then sometimes there are times when they actually texted me, and no one became a boyfriend or anything, but I felt proud of doing that, and it was those little things like that
built up.
It's
that's another way to pay a compliment.
Yeah.
Without actually, verbally paying a compliment and worrying about how somebody may take it, in our volatile words. That's another way, being brave enough to do that.
I
But
think it's
you're
romantic
already at the beginning. Huh? It is.
because even if it doesn't amount to anything romantic, eventually, like, it's just that action. Like, I feel like it's very rom-com.
Yeah,
Like my number on a business card and my little note,
uh,
Yeah.
it's
But yeah,
like
Mhm.
a meet cute.
yeah.
The, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to ask. You love movies. Ask your friend to go to the movie with you. Somebody that you might be interested in.
Yeah.
Just open up your, some people that are your friends had wanted to be more than just friends, but knew that you weren't going there.
Really?
So there's some opportunities that you but you wouldn't have been ready for them at the time anyway. You weren't
Huh,
there yet.
I'm kind of
So
curious.
I don't know your friends and I want to know.
I know. Uh,
that's where you got to you have to work on your intuition.
oh, yeah.
It's so
That's,
important. You have to start trusting your inner dialogue. But you already have more confidence than you give yourself credit for.
I feel it
So it's
bubbling.
just, yep, it's just you being able to say, yes, I am good looking. Yes, I
Yeah.
am charismatic. I can bring this to a relationship. Even with friends, like even going to work, I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
Like Juan is amazing at what he does. You excel at what you do, and you are meant to do so much more, Juan. Just so you know, don't you dare stay in that spot. You are supposed to grow because you are more that high powered, get things done. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to go after that. And your biggest problem too is you sometimes have people that are interested in you that just think you're too cute.
Me?
Yeah,
Wait.
you're just too cute.
Interested in me and they think I'm too cute?
Yeah, some people don't necessarily come up to you because you're too cute.
I must not be looking.
Yellow Wolf knows what I mean by that. Yellow Wolf, you know what I mean by that, right? My friend benefits from life has
I
in New York, and I'm waiting for Juan. Because Yellow Wolf understands what I'm saying in reference that you could be so cute, and a lot of times when a guy thinks or somebody thinks you're too cute, that could mean that you're too much work.
well, see, I don't I can't it's hard for me to believe that because I don't
Oh, you're adorable.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think I'm cute, but cute to the point that I intimidate somebody. I don't. No, I don't believe that. But it's also you saying it, so I have to take your word for it. As you're not just.
Because sometimes when somebody is so cute and you look at them and they're just so cute and you're charismatic, you're bubbly, and then somebody that might have gone through it could look at you and automatically assume, and that's not fair to you, that because you're so cute, that because you're so good looking, that you're gonna be a lot of work.
They're not wrong.
So
I have a
some
lot of work.
people, so some people may choose not to approach you that might have been interested in you because you were too cute and they just weren't going down that road.
Wow.
Just like that crazy pickup line I told you people that I've never used, but I want to one day. One day it would be great if I used it.
What
Where
is
I
it?
just would go up to, because I don't believe in pickup lines. I think you just should go up to somebody and say hello.
Yeah.
It's that easy. It doesn't have to be a thing, but people say, what are the best pickup lines? I said, you know what would be brilliant? I told you guys this before. I said, because I love noses and ears.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is your profile. Okay, that's your character. And your ears frame your face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I said the best thing that will really show somebody how insane I am, because you have to understand, first thing I tell somebody is you don't even want to talk to me because I'm batshit crazy. I am insane. I'm a lunatic. Know this from the beginning. I'm being honest. I'm not being cute. I'm not being funny. I'm 50 shades of crazy. I see dead people. I tell people I see dead people to scare them off. Thinking, okay, chick sees dead people. We're not going to, but no, people like, ooh, really? All of a sudden they're intrigued. But I used to be like, the best pickup line if you went into a bar, which I totally even don't believe in picking people up in a bar, for me per se, because I don't want somebody that goes to a bar all the time. You know what I'm saying? That for me, that's not my thing. I said I would go up to somebody and me, because I'm an infant, pull on their shirt, excuse me, and then look at them, and they probably look at me like, hey, why is this chick pulling on my shirt? And I look, did anybody ever tell you you had amazing ears? And then turn around and walk away. Three things are going to happen. One, that chick is fucking crazy. You're going to turn around. And then the other one is like, oh, thanks. And the other one to be like, ooh, come here. And they're going to come after you and start talking to you. But if you come after me and start talking to me after I just pulled on your shirt like I was 5 years old and told you that you had amazing ears and walked away, you already knew what you were walking into before you had a first conversation with me. So whatever happens from that point, I can't be held responsible for.
I like that. I might have to try that.
But to me, people are like, why ears? I'm like, it frames a face.
Yeah.
Somebody's ears, it frames their face. Because really, you could have a face, but it is their eyebrows, their nose, and their ears that truly gives them character.
That's
kind of thing.
That's interesting.
So you just can't be afraid to be you. You're already well on your way, though. So what I am going to do, because I handled today a little bit different than I normally would, because I'd rather you be talking, because this is building your confidence as well. Okay? I will blog and write down all of the things technically to Yellow Wolf, you have great lips, by the way. And you can see his lips through his... Your lips stand out. And he's got a really good nose. Yellow Wolf has a great nose. But warm fuzzies, you know, I used to teach, what do you call it, when I was younger, because I was raised Roman Catholic. I went to Catholic church and public CCD. When I was older, I did those little CCD classes, like I was a teenager. I used to bring in a stuffed animal, and they were like first and second graders. And then we'd have a thing where we would do warm fuzzies, because you weren't allowed to do a cold prickly, which a cold prickly is if somebody says something nasty about somebody. So I had a stuffed animal, and you were allowed to take that stuffed animal and chuck it at somebody. But you would have to give them a warm fuzzy. So it's perfect for, like, you know, 7- and 8-year-old boys and girls, you know, because they're not, a little boy is not necessarily going to want to give anybody a compliment because, ooh, you might like me kind of thing. Yeah. So you got to kind of throw the thing, like a sick way to get compliments to people. But you already started, so I will post the things that and that they do work, but it's going to be so similar to the laws of attraction. But what I do want you to do is I do want you to start that process. And I want you to change your dialogue into your reference. No yes buts. If you're going to be a yes man, be a yes man.
Yeah.
And then deal with what comes after, just like that movie with Jim Carrey. It's a brilliant movie. I love that movie.
That movie.
I mean, it was a little over. Did you ever see that movie, Juan?
Which one? What's the title?
I think it's
Yes Man.
Yeah. Jim Carrey and Zoe Deschanel.
My eyes just roll to the back of my head. All these movies that you haven't seen. Like, guess what?
Show. I've seen Liar Liar. I
am so excited. Like, the new Maverick is coming out because it's like the sequel to Top Gun. Like, I'm so excited. This movie is coming out, you know. I'm so sad that the Matrix 4 is coming out, but Morpheus is not in it. I'm like, how can you have Matrix without Morpheus? What's going on? Yeah, there's no Morpheus in it. But Yes Man is a good movie, and it's about somebody who was miserable and their life wasn't going the way they wanted to, and then all of a sudden they made the decision to say yes to everything, and how his life changed. So being able to say yes and cut off the negative at the end of it will change the dynamic and energy of your life. Okay, JK, I think I have nice jaws and my eyes and my lips, though I don't see it. That's because you don't see. I don't need you to see your lips. We're the ones that are seeing them. Just be happy we like them. Take the compliment. That's another thing. Learn to take compliments from people. Learn to accept them. And just say thank you. That's another big thing. All right.
In our heads too, because I can say thank you out loud. In my head, I'm like, oh, but they're seeing me with clothes.
Yeah, but it's learn to accept them. And let me tell you something. People who feel that they're a little bit heavier, they're not perfect. Guess what? They look better naked than they look like with clothes on. Just so you know, Juan.
Okay.
So that doesn't even work. You're right. I do look better naked. This is the truth. This is the truth. Coming from my trainer side. Absolutely. That's why heavier people should wear more fitted clothes, because it makes them look more fit and well together, and they'll look really good, versus the people who try to wear those big baggy clothes thinking it's going to cover things up.
Yeah.
Fitted is sometimes better. You just have to have enough confidence. But you guys did good. You guys got anything else?
I just wanted to lastly say that another thing that I think is sexy about you is you, when you mention what you're going to pursue in terms of your career and what you're interested in, that's one of the sexiest things a person could ever do, is talk about what they're passionate about or what they want, like the passion they want to align themselves with. So add that to your list too. Like, I am sexy because I'm ambitious. I know what I want to do with what career I want to pursue. Like, that's what, to me, that's a really sexy quality that anybody can take on. And
oh, absolutely. And with the career you have, these stories you're going to be able to tell. Places you're going to go, the things you're going to touch. And like, for me to actually be in a relationship with somebody, I cannot be in a relationship with somebody I cannot learn from.
Same.
Like that.
Somebody has to be able to teach me something. Like, I remember I dated somebody once, but what attracted, they were so much older to me, but what attracted to me is they knew exactly, because they were in the wine industry, especially in Europe, how to make wine. And the way they told the story of everything that a wine needs, a true wine, not California wines, he would say, is in the grape. Everything is in the grape and in the vine and in the soil. And to me, those words, everything, like my big thing now is walking through vineyards barefooted to feel the history and the ancients and the flavor and the place. So for me, that was like the sexiest, that was like an aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
That was an aphrodisiac for me, because it's like, I didn't know that. Wow.
I'm the same.
Explaining the barrels and how the barrels. See, I am definitely an Argentinian. Like, I love Malbecs and Carmeneres. Love them. And I love wine from France and Italy, because they're thicker. You know, they're a richer wine. Although California has very good Pinots. I will say that. They have very, very good Pinots. Just like, I want to go make wine, but I want to make them like my ancestors did. Yeah. I want to go barefooted and go squishing the grapes with my feet. That's what I want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So it's just those things, being able to tap into somebody's imagination. You know, if you have the ability that something you say or do could help somebody dream or look at something different, that's an amazing gift, and that's incredibly sexy.
Yeah.
You know, so you're fine. Yellow Wolf loves Cabernet. Too funny. All right, cool. So we're going to end this thing. Thank you both for coming on. Thank you for sharing your story. And for me, I know, because I went through a lot of it with you, I know actually how much more traumatic it was for you.
Yeah.
And I know how badly you hurt, emotionally and spiritually as well as physically. And you came on and you were so brave, because at the end it was like, it's no big deal. Everything went fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, what he went through and where he's at now and how you're projecting yourself, you know what I'm saying? It was a big deal. So that alone, you've come so far, because you're like, it's just something that happened. I'm not going to blame anybody for it.
Yeah.
I'm letting it go with it, and I'm moving on. And part of moving on and moving forward is letting go of it and not letting it hold you down.
Yeah.
So, but there was a process of you getting there.
Oh, it was a process, but that's...
So I am going to call you out on the carpet in a couple of weeks when you see her and say, so what did you do for self-love? What did you say about the confidence? How many people did you go out and say hello to or start a conversation with? Who did you ask to the movies? I think a movie is a good start for you, just because of the fact you don't necessarily have to hold the whole conversation and you have something to talk about afterwards.
It's low commitment, and I like that.
Yeah. So Spirit did say movies are best for him to start with.
Love movies.
So,
Thank
And
you.
Juan, you're doing your thing. You just got to stop automatically turning something into a negative and, a negative and running the other way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need somebody that's more interested in you than themselves.
Yes. Yeah. It's hard to find. But I can find it.
No, because no, it's not hard to find. You want to know why? Because you're more interested in other people and you like hearing about other people and who they are.
Mm.
Yeah.
You understand? So there's other people out there that are just like you.
You're right. I'm not the only person like me.
No. I want to go see the new Suicide Squad. Looks so fun, says Yellow Wolf. Everybody has a movie partner. He just happens to live in Canada, though.
Yeah. Come on, Yellow Wolf.
Wrong place. All right, cool. So if you guys need anything, let me know. Thank you for coming on and sharing.
Thank you so much.
And like I said, I will blog that for you and post it. And then if people have questions, but if anybody else wants to come on and talk about anybody that's gone through any form of abuse, even people that went through sexual abuse or have been raped or things like that, those are things that bring down your confidence, and it's hard for people to get out there again and find worth. So you talking about it in this type of form is huge because you're opening up and you're letting go and creating space for people to see you for how beautiful you really are, which is huge. Okay? All right, I love you guys, Fierce. Thank you so much. Thank you, Juan. You always rise to the occasion when I need you to.
Thank you, Elena, and thank you so much for sharing your
You're
story.
welcome. Okay, and you two stay in touch because you're a good support group. Everybody needs support.
I like
Somebody pisses you off?
Yeah.
I like the.
Okay.
Yeah, which is really cool. All right, cool. So I will talk to you guys soon, okay?
Have a good night.
Good
Thank
night. X off. Thank you again.
Bye-bye.
And X off. Okay. Thank you, guys. I know this live was a little bit different, but I think it is important because self-confidence and being able to speak your truth and move past things that might have been holding you back is a huge step in being sensual and sexual and being able to draw in the right partner who is going to hold you up and make you feel the way you should versus being a partner that's going to be able to take, say, your weaknesses and hold them against you and manipulate you. And that's not a healthy relationship. So like I said, if anybody has anything that they would like to talk about and that they would like to share, because sometimes sharing your stories helps others move through theirs or makes them aware of something that might be going on. So, be fearless. This is a judgment-free zone. So if you need anything, let me know. You do know that I do sessions and work with people on drawing in their partners. I actually have a program where I work with people about manifesting and laws of attraction and drawing in the partner that's right for them and building up your self-confidence along with career and all that other fun stuff. So if there's anything you need or anything you need help with, please feel free to hit me up and we will set up a session and get you where you need to be. So like I said, if there's anything you need, feel free to message me. And I will be here tomorrow night at 6 p.m. for Mystic Monday. And tomorrow we're going to do some rapid fire readings. And basically you get what you get. I'm going to just hit people as many as I can and give them what Spirit has and move on. So you're going to take the message and be good with it. Okay, this is what the goal, unless Spirit has somebody else that comes on that needs a little bit more to try to get you all a little bit more of what you're looking for. And do some past lives tomorrow with the pendulum, which is always fun too. So tomorrow we're going to do something a little bit more fun. Let's just put it that way. And I am getting those crystals posted, but I got real busy today with people, so I have to get those pictures and posted, which will be up tomorrow as well. So I will talk to you tomorrow night. The human in me recognizes, adores, and loves the human in you. Okay? And we're all living this crazy experience together. So you guys have an amazing evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.